everybody, welcome to this week's ITL. Just to start this off, I'll give you a weather recap. We've actually seen wind chills of past 30 below around the area this last week. It's been miserable. Yeah, it's cold, but yeah, it's part of life. Let's move on from this. Yes, it's a winter time. Okay, let's move on. I want to go ahead and actually mention something about, hopefully I can make this somewhat short. It might be a little bit long for you guys, and I apologize. But I know a few of my viewers, my subscribers, are going to kind of glaze over on this one because it's ham radio related. On what I'm referring to is what I mentioned last week on the ITL, getting back to what Ron C. actually brought up about the code 73 being used. And yes, it's actually... It could be a somewhat interesting topic for some of us, especially if we're into ham radios. Actually, radios around periods for like CB radios and stuff like that. Because CB is kind of seen as being dead. I still keep mine around because it's still a form of good, very localized communication. Basically, really kind of uncontrolled to a degree too, because I mean. Everybody's, oh, CB is dead. Well, nobody's listening then. But you still have. I mean, it's not a free for all. We're totally though. But let's get back to what I was saying. 73. You can. I didn't ever. Until he really pointed out that I actually had the S as pluralizing on my video. I didn't realize I was using that, and I've been conscientious about not using the S on. Well, I'm talking on the radio, because another terminology that some people won't understand is basically rag chewing, and that's all I do really is rag chewing around the area, because I mean I'm using a little handy talkie, which I would have said HT if I didn't try to keep it more simple, more out where other people can understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, because I'm trying to keep confusion down a little as possible on this. And in the 73, basically, let's start back to where it basically, I can say more likely originated from. And this is where it originated from. It's basically from doing Morse code. And doing Morse code, or actually any type of ham radio, you want to keep everything as basically as accurate as possible and as efficiently and as quick as possible, really. That's what it was meant for, to pass communication on quickly. The little, the rag chewing locally, I mean, yeah, you just sit there and talk, and if you want to know what rag chewing, that is just basically talking about the day, basically. What is going on in your life, what's in your day, talking to friends back and forth, that's rag chewing. But the 73, the codes, the people use codes, they go back to using Morse code. And a lot of people say, well, that's not really, that's an obsolete thing, because, I mean, it's actually get your tech license nowadays, you don't even have to learn Morse code. I know to a degree through different things that I've gone through life. For example, just Boy Scouts. And I wasn't a Boy Scout, I wasn't a Cub Scout, but my brother was, and my father was actually a den leader. That's what's the name for it. And I mean, I learned it along with them, and it's been so long ago, I'm being so rusty that I'll say nowadays, I just don't know it, because it is that long ago. But saying that, you want the S would have to be left off for different reasons. For one thing, for speed and accuracy, and the S makes it plural, so you're talking to more than one person. To where normally, if you're talking on a ham radio or something, you're talking to one person. If you're talking to a group, from understand, it's okay to add the S. That means you're spreading out through all of them. But normally in the groups that I talk to, if you don't use the S, they understand it goes out to each individual person. So I mean, it's how they perceive it, really. So I mean, it's really under perception. And where I first started learning the codes, really, and this is actually a generic form, was actually on CB radio. I used to be a big CB radio operator back in the day. And I hate to say operator because learning the ham radio a little bit I have. And CB radio is, it's a good tool, we'll say that. But back in the day, it was a toy for me. And we used it to play different games like hide and seek with the guys and everything else. And, well, I shouldn't say guys, because there's a few women that was in it. But they had cars, and we used to play hide and seek at nighttime and daytime and everything else. And it was good fun, and it built skills on finding people, triangulating on people. And it was fun. But on the other hand, I mean, most of the time you're using things very loosely. And I mean, the one code you will not hear me say is 88. And except for one person in my life will get 88. That's it. And you can look it up to find out what 88 stands for. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, the 73 is supposed to be, what was the wording for it? 73 code was, you know what, my mind just went blank, and let me, you know what, I've got my phone right here. Let me look it up. See if I'll handle it. Because I had it looked up just shortly before I came up to make sure. Because I wanted to get my, my mind's in with it. And I want to use the correct terminology too, because I don't want to try to mislead anybody or anything on the meanings of things. I'd rather be as truthful as much as possible. Oh, give me a second, guys. Actually, there's a code. Somebody actually wrote all the codes down here. Let's see if it goes to... No. I'm seeking for the right word. And I hate that whenever it happens. It's like I get a brain lock on it. I guess I'll be cutting off this one a little bit. Actually, I'm not going to cut it off. I'm going to leave it there. Just so you see, you know, I do get into basically brain lock sometimes, which is crazy for me. But anyway, it's basically regards. Somebody's giving you regards. That's giving you the 73. And normally people give that to as you're signing off. Now, the 88 is used if you're signing off a lot of times with, say, somebody from the female gender. Well, somebody thinks that, well, nowadays that gets all mixed up. And I apologize if I offend you, but it is what it is. But anyway, if you're a female, you go 88s. No, a lot of times I don't. That's because I'm personable to the point where you can say prudish at times, because I save certain words for certain people, and my wife only gets 88. But there's other codes that you could use too. That one's means for a male. It's like a handshake. But anyway, you kind of get the term. You should not make it pluralized, just for simplicity, and to make it short and more accurate. That's just part of being ham. You just need to transfer the information as accurate as possible, as fast as possible, and just keep it as simple as possible. That way it can be, somebody can get the information and pass it down. That's good, just good rule of thumb there. But yeah, I mean, I apologize for taking the time. I have to look it up. I hate that. But like I said, I'm going to leave that one in there. I don't normally try to cut it out and try to seam as possible so you don't see it. But I mean, I go into brain lock too myself, and a lot of times I got to look it up. But yes, it was very interesting if you look up the history of the codes, why they're being used, and all this. It's a long history, And it really seems back to basically learning Morse code. And I want to get back to, a lot of people say, well, Morse code is kind of dead. Not really, not really. I mean, for the people that don't use Morse code like myself right now, I'm a learner, a beginner, they might see it as that way. But it is the most efficient way to pass information along over a radio, in my eyes. And it actually, in a pinch, if you want to keep it quiet and not people know what you're not really saying unless they know Morse code, I mean, it's a really good way to do it that way too. And you can actually, with a little bit of knowledge, and I've done it before, I've made keys to transmit Morse code. Were they fancy as the keys nowadays that you buy? No, but they didn't cost hardly anything to build. I mean, if you just know what you're going, because you're just working with the two contacts and a good, making yourself a decent key that'll work. Key, and it is possibly done. And it's something more than likely after I do the realm that I'm doing right now, learning. That's the antennas alone right now, because I'm trying to get the best, the most I can get out of the little hand radio, the HT that I've got, the Baofeng. I'm trying to get the most and the best I can get out of that. And yes, it's limited because it's got, well, some people debate it's 4 watts, some people say it's 5 watts. It doesn't really matter with 1 watt in my eyes. But it is not right now, but I'm planning on growing from that. I'm planning on growing to another UHF, VHF for the vehicles. Then move up to the HF bands. And I'll have to get my my general's license eventually for that. But it's a growing process for me. And along the way, I will pick up using Morse code. And it's just a growing process. And it's actually good for the brain to be able to learn this stuff as people get older. And it actually pushes back the possibility of getting like Alzheimer's and that stuff. It is found out it does help. So yeah, but actually, if you haven't subscribed to Ron C yet, I'll go ahead and leave a link down to his channel down in my description. I used to call it the crankcase. He does have 2 channels there. He split because he's splitting the ham radio stuff from his vlogging, his motorcycle and stuff. And I mean, it's his choice. It actually, in ways, it's a good idea. I'm not doing that. The channel is not about my vlogging. It ain't about my motorcycle. It ain't about my guns. It's about me. This is my life. I'm taking you through it, trying to show what I've learned. If you know it, that's good. If you don't know it, and you might be interested in it, that's good too. I'm trying to pass what I learn along. I mean, it's a fun ride in my eyes. But yeah, I'll go ahead and Ron C. I like his content. I really like his content. Both with the ham radios and everything else. And I can actually relate to him, actually. With his history, and I've already mentioned to him with my history, I can relate to him in ways through my father. Same with Navy Thomas 8, the same way. And yes, he's dealing with a 100-year-old house. I have over a 120-year-old house. And that's the reason I did this. It's not too far from my garage here. And I try to keep it as close to looking like it was 120 years when it was built, as close as I can. And no, you're not going to do that after so many years, because my house wasn't built with plumbing, even. But it could be a nightmare at times, and I could feel his pain. But yeah, I mean, it's like, go over. He's a great guy. I've actually gotten a lot of information just off his channel alone, let alone a little bit of tidbits that I can get from him whenever we're talking back and forth. He doesn't realize it. We talked about even the stickers on the ammo cans, with his panniers, my ammo cans, same difference in my eyes. I will be sitting down repairing mine eventually here. And like I told him, said I hate to put stickers on it because I'll be losing them. And I see the stickers as where I actually reached out and actually connected with somebody. And I just hate to lose that memory, because I got lots of stickers from people that, from vloggers that actually are no longer around. They were back years ago, and I considered them as friends back then. But yeah, I'd hate to lose that, along with my Polar Bear Challenge stickers. So what I want to do is end up taking good pictures of them and be able to print that out instead of having the original stickers. That's a shame, but I need to repair these ammo cans and not replace them. First place, it just saves kind of money. It gives me something to do, and I mean, it's amazing how much these ammo cans cost for the rear nowadays, I'll say. But yeah, let's move on from this. Yeah, but go ahead and see him. Go down. If you haven't subscribed to him yet, haven't looked at his channel yet, give him a chance, guys. He's fantastic. We're going to go ahead and something you're not going to be able to see too far from here, but I'll give you the best details I got. I actually ordered this about a month ago, a little over a month ago. I got it reasonably quick. Which, I mean, not saying where I ordered it, you can kind of guess, but you can actually order this a lot of places, different places online. Internet. You're not talking about Amazon, I'm talking eBay. So I'm not going to give you one supplier. You can look it up if you're interested. If you looked at my channel throughout the few years, I've actually showed everyday carry pocket dumps, and I've always changed my flashlight because I'm always looking for a good usable flashlight. It's amazing how much I use a flashlight through the day. And this one here is actually done pretty well for the last almost 3 to 4 weeks, actually. And normally I buy the cheaper flashlights because it's like, it's only going to get broken or whatever right away. And I started at the dollar store and stuff, and they do work. They do the job for a short period of time, most of the time. And I mean, but they always have multiple LEDs. And they went through, they always took 4 little AAA batteries. They kind of ate through the batteries pretty quickly. Within a week, they were dead. But this one here actually surprised me. This is actually by Cree, C-R-E-E. And actually, I've ran into Cree dealing with LEDs off and on. And it seems to be a decent company. This is the Ultrafire flashlight. And you might have seen this advertised. Actually, I've seen this advertised around about. And this actually's got the 3-position button. Well, actually, it's 4 because you got the off. But you've got the dim, where the LED's dim. You got the bright one, and you got the flash, where it's flashing, strobing. And you got off. And it works good. And this actually takes 1 AA battery. 1 AA battery. And I use the cheap Sunbeam dollar store batteries because I like to try them out on the cheap batteries. See how that lasts day long. Then work it up through the better grade batteries and see what they do. I normally go back to the cheap ones because if studies have been done, people have done studies on it, and actually proved you get the better bang for your buck normally by buying the cheap batteries. You know, you got to change them out, you get more for your money. And you say, and in the end, you do save money. But this has the telescope, the zoom lens on the front where you pull it out. I don't know if you can see it's getting longer. So it zooms your beam, and actually it'll zoom it in to where you can actually see the LED in the image on it. So it's a single LED. And, I mean, it has done really well. For the last 3 to 4 weeks, as of recording this date, this video, I have not needed to change the battery I put in it. It's the original Sunbeam dollar store battery. I use it every day, a lot every day, seems like, and it's just as bright now as it was whenever I put it in. I mean, that really warrants it for me. And also, it has the little, I'll say, crowned end on it. And that's actually used for a few different things. One of them is for self-protection. Whenever you're out and say, for women, for example. They're out in the dark, somebody creeps up, a creeper comes up on them, they're using it, they can hit them, and it'll actually do damage to their face or whatever. And it's just self-protection. It's an added piece. And I like that. It has it has a nice belt clip on it, which I call a pocket clip because it's so small. And it feels okay in the hand. Is it perfect? No, but it feels okay. It's not going anywhere. You can tell. As you tell, mine's blue. You can order them in many different colors. I just like blue because normally people don't pick blue. And if I go out to visit, say, stay somebody's house, visit somebody, and I see it, I know it's mine. And if I have a question, I say, hey, is this your flashlight? Because just like mine, yeah. And blue normally stands out for me. But yeah, would I recommend so far? Yeah, I'd recommend this. And I paid like, what was it, like $5-6 for this. I think they normally average anywhere between $5 and $10 for these. And this is a was it 3,000 lumens, something like that. It was not a whole lot, but it's plenty bright for whatever you want to use it for normally. I mean, is it the perfect flashlight? No, but it's the best one I've ran into so far. I've actually got a better flashlight that I've ordered along with this, and it's a little bit larger flashlight for the house. And I haven't used that hardly at all because it's for the house. It's for emergencies. Well, this one gets stuck to my pocket. I use it all the time. But as time goes on, I will introduce that in as I get more time using it, and I'll tell you more about that. Which that one there has about the same capabilities as this, except for it's got a lot more lumens. Yeah. But yeah, I figured I'd go ahead and introduce just to guys. If you're interested in, like I said, it is Cree, C-R-E-E, and it's the Ultrafire. I've had really good results with this. I've dropped it by accident through the last 3-4 weeks. I've kicked it once, actually. It just survives. It's water resistant. I don't see anything's real waterproof because after you get so deep, normally they give out anyway. As you use it with the seals, they give out anyway. So it's never water resistant in my eyes. The water always finds its way in, but it's water resistant. That helps. That helps. And I mean, the button is actually a good, solid button. It's nice size for the fingers. It's not something you got to fight to play with. I mean, it just works. But this is this goes into my EDC everyday carry group, and it'll hopefully be there for a very long time. Whenever it fails, I'll try to go ahead and remember to give you guys a heads up that it failed. It gave out this after this long, and for between $5 and $10. If it fails within a couple months, I got my money out of it. If it fails within a month, I got my money out of it after the way I use it. No shame, no shame, no shame. But I'll go ahead and if there's any more questions about the codes and that sort of thing, I will go ahead and try to find out more information. On this information that I found really came from a lot of talking to different individual hams, and also looking online. And everybody has a little bit different version of the tale, and you just gotta weed it through them. And I'm not saying that I know all this information. I'm just passing on what I have found out, what I'm going by, and it might change a little bit from here to there because you find out better information. But it's a subject where there's not a whole lot of information online, and it's different from person to person. So, and I'll tell you, I mean, Ron C can give you more information on it. I know that for a fact. I definitely know that for a fact. And he'll know what I'm referring to. But I hope you all have a great week. This is MuzzleMike signing out. 73.